David's going to be telling us a story, abridged, a short story. And I think what I love so much about baptism is that it reveals that we've all been places. Places that we aren't proud of, places that we don't want to talk about at Christmas dinner, right? We've all done things that we need to be set free from and that we need forgiveness of. We've all been places. And I think what's so cool about baptism, and at least here at New City, is that we treat it, it's a public confession, a public declaration of your faith in Jesus. And that's it. It's symbolic and yet deeply supernatural. And it's participating in a sacred practice that goes back thousands and thousands of years. It's this image and example that we follow from Jesus where he was an adult and he shows up and he goes in the river and he gets completely submerged. And it's this practice that signifies your old life when you walk in. But when you go under the water, you die to your old life and you emerge a new creation. That's the image. And so we don't believe that baptism saves you. It's not salvation. It doesn't buy a ticket to heaven. But instead what it does is it's a reflection of your heart. It's an external reflection of an internal change. And so this morning as we remember and we respond to the greatness of God, I'm just so excited to hear your story, David. Are you nervous? Yes. It's very nervous. Has anyone been baptized before? You know what I'm saying, right? It's nervous. Nerves. Is that the word? Nervous? Nerve-wracking. I like it. Thank you. Where's my grammar? Do you want to hold a mic? Okay.
I was raised in the church when I was younger, but wasn't really involved. Through the course of my life, I've been addicted to drugs and alcohol, so I can relate to that. And I was a member of an outlaw motorcycle club for many, many years, and I've done some pretty horrible things in my life. But when I came to God and asked him to forgive me, he did. And that has allowed me to get past the drug and alcohol use, because I was using that to bury the guilt. And when I actually went to God, I didn't think he'd forgive me, and I didn't think I could forgive myself for some of the things I've done. And I can't even explain how I feel now. It's the peace I'm at since I've accepted God back into my life. I just want to do this. It's like David said. It's a public proclamation of my faith. To reaffirm my faith. I'm not sure what God has in store for my life, but I've survived many things. I should have been dead several times. So I'm here for a reason. And I just got to find that out. I've been praying, and things actually in my life have been going really, really well, scarily well, if that's a word. It's frightening sometimes how things have just fallen into place. I'm in a halfway house right now. I lost my job when I got arrested back in December, and I prayed, because I'd fallen backwards. I'd been in jail before that, and I got out, and things were good, and I got this really good job, best job I've ever had in my life, and I screwed up again and lost it. I lost contact with the church. And then I prayed when I went back to jail, and it seems like every time I go to jail, here I am praying again, but he put me in the place I'm at now where I've actually learned some things I didn't know before, and he amazed me by the fact that my job was still waiting for me. Wow. So I'm very grateful, and thank you people for your support.
Yeah. Jeremiah, why don't you grab a hand? David, because of your faith and your commitment to following Jesus in community, we baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Why don't you grab a seat? She came prepared. She's got paper. So, do you feel like holding the mic, or do you want me to hold the mic?
I don't know if can everybody hear me?
We'll do it like this.
Okay. I had to write it down because I was really nervous, and I was thinking about it last night, and I wanted to get it on paper before I lost my thoughts. So I've been coming here for about a month now, and I can't imagine my Sundays without it so far, so thank you, everybody. I've been wanting to get baptized for a while now, but I hadn't found the right church where I felt at home and welcomed. So, as he said, my name is Nicole, and he'd asked me to say a few words before my baptism. I wasn't going to at first because I'm not a great speaker, and I'm really nervous. But the more I thought about it, the more that I felt this compulsion and this need to say a little bit of my story. So this might take a minute, I apologize. When I was younger, I never really went to church, only if one of my friends invited me, or they were going and they invited me, and then I went. But I knew, so I learned the story of God and Jesus and how he died to save us. And when I was younger, I remember praying to him a lot, and feeling as though were being gone unanswered. My mother is here today at my request. Sorry. I love her very much, but we often fought. I think it's because we were so much alike. Thank you. We're both very stubborn, and we always think we're both right at the same time, which never works if it's the opposite thinking. And more often than not, it ended... More often than not, it ended with a slap to the face. I remember very clearly her telling me that I didn't have it so bad because it wasn't as bad as when she was younger and what her mother did to her. But that also didn't make it all right or okay. I remember feeling hurt and angry and unloved and a burden until one day I tried to take my own life. I remember being in and out of unconsciousness and my younger sibling saying, "Nicole, please be okay. I love you." And my mom crying. I realized the next day, when by some miracle, literally, I woke up in the hospital, how selfish my suicide attempt would have been. I did have people who loved me and would have been devastated by my absence. My point is, even though it was never asked for, you are forgiven. I forgive you now. Because I understand it wasn't easy for you. You were never taught the proper way to deal with a frustrating child, much less being how to be a single mom. I forgive you because of the differences in the way you're raising my siblings, my sister and brothers. I forgive you because despite our differences, you have never abandoned me, even to this day, for any reason. But most of all, I forgive you because I love you and always will. At the age of 18, I had a renewed belief in God. I had found my true love at 17, and I was soon married a month after I turned 18. About a year into our marriage, we found out I was pregnant with my first son, and when I saw his heart beating inside me, I just felt there had to be more for this life to be growing inside me. I've walked through my own personal hell with my addiction to heroin. It took everything from me, but I think my children mattered the most. I'd lost everything and was staying with my mom at age 25. I found myself sneaking in to my younger brother's room to sleep next to him in his big bed for comfort. I cried silently and finally exhausted myself out and prayed. I said, God, please help me. Just help me. Find the strength to stay clean and sober, to get my voice back, and to just want to live again. The next morning, I felt a little lighter. And I can say through my prayers and my spiritual 12-step program, I've been happily sober with my boys and my significant other for 2 years and 3 months. So today I'm making a resolution of shutting the door on my past, not to forget it, but to walk past it onto the rest of my life with God by my side. I love you, family. Thank you for being here. It means a lot. And for everyone else.
Because of your faith in Jesus and your commitment to following him in community, because of the future he has set aside for you, we baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Come on. Yeah. And we shout a praise. Come on. You've had a big weekend.
You said there were 2.
I thought there was going to be another one. I was praying in confidence, and maybe there will be still. Okay. You've had a big weekend.
Yes.
I'm going to hold a mic for you because that's or do you want to hold it?
I'm kind of
Are you jittery right now?
a little bit.
Okay, we're just being real, right?
Yeah.
So
All right.
I'll hold it then for you.
Thank you. I'm Caitlyn Travers.
Hi, Caitlyn.
For now.
What does that mean? What does that mean? I'll be officiating that one too.
I got engaged yesterday. My stomach has been in knots and butterflies for about 24 hours straight, so. Oh man, okay. Like I said, I'm so nervous, but I'm overflowing, and I'm so happy all in the same time. My brain is mush, and oh my gosh, okay. Me being up here on stage in front of you all, wow, okay, my hands are like, okay. Me being up here on stage in front of all of you is one of the handful of moments that my life changes, big time. You guys are my family, and you're my friends, and you're my community, and I've never had one of those before. Well, sorry, I've had family. For those of you that don't really know my story personally, I've always believed that Christ is my Savior, even as a kid, but growing up, he seemed really far away, unattainable, and like he wasn't really listening, or that I wasn't worth listening to. Because of this, I'm sure like a lot of you made wrong choice after wrong choice, and for years I made stupid decisions and found what I thought was fulfillment in things or in people that in the end just left me feeling more and more empty. About 3 years ago is the lowest I've ever been. I was depressed, and it was just a really dark place to be in. I was alone most of the time. I hated being up here. Like, I would sob on the drive back. I hated it. My family was a huge just blessing, and they were my rock through this entire thing. I felt really worthless, and the lies that I heard in my mind and in my heart were sinking deeper and deeper, and for a long time I truly believed all of it. That changed a little over a year ago. Now I see the truth, and I see Christ in the people around me and the relationships that I've made, and most importantly in myself. He's been made more real to me now than he ever has, and this is why I'm up here. I can't thank my family enough, like I said, for being by my side through the dark stuff and never stopping to encourage me and love me and urge me to persevere, and for that I'll be forever grateful. For those of you that I've just met in the last couple years at New City and community group and school, if any of you are here. You've been instrumental in my growth and ownership of my faith, and I thank you for that. Like I said, yesterday was another moment where life changed. To my brand spanking new fiance. Nick, you were the start. You invited me here, and you urged me to be a part of a community, and you patiently waited until I was ready to pursue me. Thank you for your selflessness and love. Thank you for walking alongside me, and above all, thank you for being Jesus to me. I wouldn't be up here without you. Okay.
You're crushing it.
I'm going to ask, I'm going to use God's words in the last bit. This comes from Colossians 2, 6 through 7. Therefore, as you have received Christ Jesus your Lord, so walk in him. Having been firmly rooted, you know how I love plants, and now being built up in him and established in your faith, just as you were instructed, and overflowing with gratitude.
Awesome. How are you feeling? You feeling good? The hard part is over, see?
Yeah, now I just get to get done.
And it's cold, so it's cooled off. All right, not too bad. Yeah, I told you. Turn around. No, facing this way. Facing this way. Sit down. I'm positive it's going to be worth it. Got to ease in. Arms across the front. Nick, why don't you grab a hold? Caitlyn, because of your faith in Jesus and your commitment to following him in community, we baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Lift up a shout of praise. What's your name?
Shauna.
Shauna, how old are you?
13.
Okay. And how long have you been with Jesus?
I don't know exactly the year, but since I think first grade.
Very cool. So do you understand that through baptism, it's a public declaration of an internal change, yeah? Do you believe that Jesus is the only way? Awesome. Why don't you're going to get your jeans wet. You feeling okay? I'm fine. Okay. Jeremiah, why don't you help her in the tub? All right, cross your arms, hold on to Jeremiah. Perfect. Shauna, because of your faith in Jesus and your commitment to following him, we baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Shout of praise, come on.